talk about Kipchoge, because I think it was the opposite of eyebrow raising, because this is what he does. This is the type of race that he is set up to run. This actually, the 2:04:30, I looked it up. That's the 9th fastest marathon of his career, in case you were wondering. So his top 10 is all sub 2:05 at this point. Probably slowed down his average by running this performance at the NN Mission Marathon. 2:04:30, he goes 61:43, then comes back with a 62:47. As expected, nobody could stick with him over those final miles. Took off around 30K. Clear favorite now for the Olympics. Answers any questions that people had after his 8th place finish in London. This was just like a clockwork, vintage Kipchoge performance. It got me thinking, though, Gordon, this is the trouble when you're the GOAT. This is the issue when you're the GOAT. There's very little you can do at a certain point to continue to impress people. You run a 2:04:30 on an airport, and people are like, okay, good. That's what we expected you to do. If he comes back after the Olympics, wins another London, wins another Berlin, okay, been there, done that. When I was watching this race and the final miles tick off, I started thinking, well, is he ever going to run a 150? Is he ever going to have an opportunity to run a 159:40 again? Probably not. Probably not. Even if he is in that type of shape, the chance up they set up a race like that again are probably small. Is he going to get a chance to run even a sanctioned world record again? Probably not, because it seemed like that race he squeezed everything he could out of it, which makes me think that these Olympic Games are going to be the last massive Kipchoge race out there, the last thing that can really add to his resume. Maybe he does decide to run a New York and a Boston, and he adds to his world marathon major. He goes for that Grand Slam. But I don't think that's likely. I just feel like he's going to keep doing the London-Berlin cycle. But at a certain point, you've won so many Londons and you've won so many Berlins that people just expect it. And I don't know if winning another one adds to it. But the Olympics, he only, air quotes, only has one, which means I still think he can add to that legacy there if he wins the Olympic marathon. But past that, I don't really know if he can't chase times, if he can't put the world record and the unofficial world record farther out of reach. I don't know what else there is for him to achieve in the sport unless he wants to go around and start taking course records from New York or Boston.
Well, he may not have anything left he can achieve in the sport, right? Because how old is he now? What's his age?
Younger than you think.
Younger than you think. Is he over under 35?
I think isn't he 35? Exactly. All I know is he's younger than me, which I think about, 10 times a day, maybe even 20 times a day. I think about, he's 36 and 164 days. So he is a little bit, I was born a few months before him. November 5th, 1984 is his DOB. But yeah, I mean, he won a world title in 2003.
Yeah.
In the 5,000.
So like
that's how long
36, next Olympics would he be, is he trying to go all the way to 2024? Like, is that his plan?
Right. I don't know.
I mean, how do you motivate someone who, like you said, has already broken 2-hour marathon, has done, multiple major wins, has won the Olympics, likely can win back-to-back Olympics. It just seems like there's nothing left for you, that the only thing really left is retirement, as weird as that sounds. But, like, typically in your running, you move your way up, right? Oh, okay. Like Mo Farah, he's like, I've done enough on the 10K and the 5K. I'm moving up to the marathon. It's a new challenge. But he has nothing to move up to. He's not going to become an ultra marathoner. I think the only thing he moves to is retirement. And then maybe he starts dabbling in like post-retirement competitions. Like, maybe he's next in line to face Jake Paul in another boxing match, to be a retired athlete, something like that. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, maybe enough is enough. Maybe it's okay to be like, I don't need to do another thing. Maybe it's like, I've done a lot of things and my mission is complete, right? Maybe that's the way he's going to think about it when he is going into 2021 being like, hey, I don't know what to do next. I mean, maybe you could argue he comes back to win a Has he ever won a world championship marathon? The marathons that no one cares about?
Yeah, Gordon, come on, we're just reaching at that point. If we're gonna say he's motivated by a world championship marathon,
Hey,
no one's ever
he can
now.
win in
He
Eugene.
hasn't.
It'll be fun. See him in Eugene.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe more people will run because it's in Eugene. Maybe Rupp will run because it's in Eugene.
Yeah.
Listen, he hasn't won two yet. He hasn't even done the back to back yet. But I'm saying he's on course to do that. And anybody watching that race on Sunday morning saw that. No one's won three Olympics. No one's done that. Maybe that would be the next thing that he goes for. And he only needs to wait 3 more years to do that because of the postponement on the Olympics. I just think when you look at his career and you look at the times plus the wins in London, Berlin, got one in Chicago as well too, is what, him going out there and running a 2:03 in London is just, at this point, it's crazy to say, but it's just redundant for him. It's stuff he's
Yeah.
already done. So I wonder, is it a New York? Is it a Boston? Or is it just that he's going to continue to do the same races over and over again? And eventually someone's going to catch up because he's going to slide back. And the evolution of the event tells us that people are going to get better. That seems like it's going to happen. But when is that point? We saw him have a bad race in London, but after he runs this one, you kind of chalk that up to just crazy circumstances more than him slipping that far down.
I guess one thing that isn't redundant about winning Berlin again or London again is he still gets a redundant paycheck, and
Sure.
new
Yeah.
money is very more
Same
it's
as
not
old.
doesn't it's the same as the old money. So like I think that might be his motivation. It's like it's not about legacy. It's about like, hey, I can collect a nice lump sum of cash to go here, do my thing, and then go home and watch some TV.
So Khalil brings up a good point in the chat, which kind of takes me back a couple months to London. And he says probably no chance for any Bekele versus Kipchoge last minute races for fun. It was only a few months ago when we're going into London and we're saying, well, what happens if Bekele jumps, leapfrogs, gets his world record and beats him in London? How does that complicate Kipchoge's legacy? And then Bekele DNF'd and Kipchoge got eighth, and we moved on and we moved past it, right? And the thing is you can assess them based on the times, you can assess them based on the amount of wins, and then that win streak, 10 consecutive sanctioned marathons in a row. That doesn't even include Monza, that doesn't even include Vienna. That stretch is going to be really hard to beat, even if someone runs faster than those times. I think you'd agree with me. The times are going to go, the time is going to get broken before somebody has a streak like that. But at this point, I don't think there's much that Bekele could do to dent that legacy. He has the name. He's the only marathoner out there that has that name, though, like Khalil mentions, that could draw you in and make you still think, okay, well, that's a quality win again. That's a quality win, even though, listen, Kipchoge's proved himself as a better marathoner time and time again. Just the list is just fascinating to me of things that could motivate him past these Olympics. And he's got this short-term goal now. He's got the Olympics, but I don't know what there is past that. And I'm very interested to see.
I guess the only thing that will motivate him is if he goes to Tokyo and loses.
Loses, right? Yeah.
If he comes out with a loss, he's gonna be like, I can't end with this. I need something. Maybe I gotta go and defeat the person who beat me multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, because we're kind of already
he
giving
just
him
follows
the title,
that person around. He just follows that person around. Doesn't matter what they run. They could be doing a fun run, and he just shows up for a year, just races them at every possible opportunity.
I will beat you everywhere.
That was a fluke, just a complete spite tour. Just amazing.
That'd be a great plot for like a movie, like a running based movie, where like some guy's just so motivated. It's like he has like that Michael Jordan mantra, like he takes it personally, where like he needs to beat him to like everything. Like he's first in line at the supermarket, everything.
Yeah. Moves into his neighborhood. He just does not give him an inch at all. No, I like it. What were you saying though? If he loses, because you're right, we are giving him we are saying he's the favorite for the title, which he's the favorite title. He could still lose. You're right. But then if he loses, doesn't he just go back to, okay, London, Berlin, check, and then what?
Yeah. I'm telling you, he can retire and then get into competitive boxing.
No, don't. No,
that's
please
a new
don't.
thing. We've seen. Hey, there's money there. There's money.